why like shit like this happens and dating apps suck.
Hey guys, hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to give you guys some tips if you're a single woman that's dating and things like that. But before I do that, I want to talk about a video that went viral of this woman that decided to go to a comedy show. She was hoping to meet somebody there, but in the end it left her just crying and feeling really bad because she was the only one that sat in the front, and the comedian was pretty much telling her how brave of you to be the only one sitting in the front, like people don't usually do this. But she ended up realizing that a lot of events that she was going to, she's been by herself, and she was talking about how dating is so awful these days. So I want to say, first of all, I totally feel bad, and I understand that dating sucks even more now. It's really bad. I mean, I've seen numerous videos of women saying how horrible it is out there for dating. I want to say I had my share of it when I was on dating apps back a couple years ago, 9 years ago. It was bad also, but it wasn't as bad as now, but it was bad. So these are some of the things that I learned now that I know that I could share with you guys while you're going through the process, okay? So the video, she just was like, man, when is it gonna happen for me? Because I'm putting myself out there, I'm loving myself, I'm doing the work, and I'm not meeting people. I understand that. When I was dating, there was moments that I literally thought something was wrong with me. I would look in the mirror, I'm like, dang, what is it about me? You know, typically the dates that I went to would never amount to nothing. Like, it would just be guys that wanted, you know, the sex. It was guys that just wanted to casually date. And it was left and right of just different characters where I just got so fed up with it. And I mean, the last one that I was about to close, my app, the app that I was on, that's how I ran into my husband. It was so bad. So I totally get that part. So one of the first tips I can tell you guys is to genuinely do activities that you enjoy. Don't do them because you're hoping to meet somebody. Don't take up pickleball or take up dancing because you're hoping to meet a partner there. You have to genuinely enjoy this thing. So two of my activities that I enjoy doing, I enjoy cooking. I know that's kind of like weird, but, and then the other one is dancing. I could cook all day. I could take, you know, cooking classes. I could take dancing all day. I'm a sociable person. I like to be in environments where people are socializing and things like that. So for me, I will be doing that often, you know. Traveling is something I'm thinking about now, but it's something that I should have definitely considered back in the day, because I've realized that traveling opens your eyes to different parts of the world, to different people. And so I believe that you genuinely have to pick activities that you just really genuinely enjoy, and in the long run you might run into somebody there. The next thing is, don't rush. There's societal pressures. I understand, you know, when you, for example, if you come from an African community, people bring up when you're gonna have kids, when you're gonna get married, and sometimes that pressure can lead you into rushing into something that's not good for you, that's not meant for you. We've seen the things where women, you know, literally bought their own ring because they're trying to rush the process. Don't rush it. And I'm telling myself this, don't rush it, because you're gonna settle with somebody that's not meant for you, that's gonna make your life miserable, and you don't want that. So take your time. The other thing is, with that, they always say that when you are doing stuff just to meet somebody, it's not good, because that means you're genuinely not interested in that stuff. You're doing it because you're hoping to meet someone. So just do things you really enjoy. Another thing that I notice is when somebody acts up or does something wrong, sometimes it really has nothing to do with you. There were times I took personally the way the men treated me, the way they acted, but it wasn't about me. There's people that are different, that have different characters in the world. Don't take it personal and think, oh, he didn't take me on a date because it's me. Oh, you know, he was lying to me because of me. A lot of times it has nothing to do with you. You know how they say be kind, everybody's fighting their own battles or whatever? That's literally it. People are dealing with different things, and sometimes they're in the market trying to date, but they're not really there, okay? So this leads me to the other one, is you have to be physically, emotionally, and all that stable before you can go out there to try to meet somebody. Because what I've realized is that when you're dealing with emotions, like for example, when I was trying to date, when I met the guy that treated me like whatever, I was at a low place. I was hurt. And after a 6-year relationship, I felt like, my God, where do I start? So I was vulnerable. And for me to be out there trying to date, it led me into somebody who was just a hot mess. And if I had taken the time to really fix all the things and heal in some way, it would have not led me into that. And when I took the time to really look at what I clearly wanted, which leads me to the next one, is be clear about what you want and stick with it. Do not kind of compromise and be, you know, like, oh, I changed it today just because I met this person. Oh, this person's cute, I'm going to switch what I want. No, you have to stay with it. So when people come around, you know what you want. If, for example, you want to get married and you want to have kids, if somebody's talking about everything else but that kind of thing where they're not bringing up that, walk away. When somebody gives you that ick and that feeling of like something is off, something is not right, you have to walk away no matter what. They could be, you know, Denzel Washington or whoever your favorite actor is. Walk away. Do not stick around hoping that somehow they're going to be the person that you want. No. Typically, men will show you very early on who they are. They usually show you. You just have to pay attention and really listen well. They usually are. So once that happens, don't compromise. They said that men go after what they want. Women go after what they want, but they compromise in some ways. Like, oh, well, he's kind of cute, I'll deal with it. Oh, you know, I don't like smoking, but you only smoke stuff in the weekends, not a big deal. No, you cannot compromise. You have to be sure that this is what you want. So when you want marriage, you want kids, if the person is not bringing that up at all, and they're not talking about long-term anything, you gotta go. When I met my husband, our words aligned, and literally he meant that. I told him I wanted something long-term. I wasn't sure about marriage. I told him that, and he was sure that he wanted me to be his wife. He knew that. It wasn't even questioning. He was like, oh yeah, that's gonna happen. Like, he knew it, because he saw that I wasn't playing around. And I told him my flaws. You know, I told him some of the issues that I had dealt with. Even though they say, oh, don't talk about your past problems, I told him where I was coming from. And he was like, you know what? Okay, not a big deal. Like, I like you, I want to get to know you, and let's see how it goes, you know? So that's the other thing, is you have to have uncomfortable conversations. You have to bring up things. You have to ask questions that people might not want to talk about, you know? I told him that, you know, I literally took off. I remember one time we were going somewhere and I took off my wig. I was like, this is my real hair. Like, at the time, you know, my hair was shorter and stuff. I was like, this is my hair. You know, I told him, you know, there's times that I get mad. I get worked up about things, you know, and he told me his situations, some of the stuff he was dealing with. And I had to be like, okay, let's see how we can do, you know, and go on and date and all that. Let's see how he goes. But sometimes people don't want to have those things, you know. That's why they say, you know, ask about credit scores and where do you work and what is your income like. All this stuff are things that people say you shouldn't be discussing early on. But I feel like you have to put things on the table so you figure out that you guys are a real match. Can this work out? Okay. And the other thing is, you genuinely have to like the person. If there's something that you just don't like about them, I'm talking where it's like it just wouldn't work, then forget it. You cannot be like, well, he's kind of rude at times, I'm okay with that. If rude is just it's not it. Do not settle and wait for it, because the next thing he's going to be rude to you, you know. Another thing is meet the people around them, family members, friends. Get to know who are the people that he knows that he's hanging around with, you know. Who are these people? How is his family life like? I had a couple guys that I was talking to that were talking badly about their moms constantly, and I was like, no, that's not going to work for me. You have to start getting to know this person while you're dating. And also, they have to be in situations that are uncomfortable and see how they act. You know, when things are not good for them, how are they behaving? When they're stressed and overwhelmed, how are things going for them? Because in the end, that's really who they are. And, you know, going on dates and little cute things, okay, they won't be able to show that. But the minute you start seeing them in real time, in real setting, you know, maybe they have family issues. How are they dealing with them, you know? You have to see those things, and that. And so at the end of the day, what I can say is make sure you're good physically, emotionally, and stable in some way. Make sure that you're asking questions and getting to know the person slowly, no rush. You know, make sure that you are seeing if you align, you know. I had one guy that we went to a restaurant, and out of nowhere he was rude to the waiter. I was like, nope, that's not gonna work for me, because you're rude to people. I don't like that. So no matter how rich he was, no matter how much of what he had, didn't care. I already saw the signs that he also lied to me that he was gonna quit smoking, and he didn't. That was a no-no. You have to see people in settings that are not like perfect. They're not in a date. They're literally with you somewhere. Maybe they have a dad that has issues. Let's see how they deal with their dad, you know, and meet people that are around them. Not just a secretive thing where it's just like it's two of you and you don't know anything else about their family or whatever. You have to start knowing them, because early on, like, my husband took me to meet their family, and slowly I would spend time with them, barbecues and all that. So I started knowing them and who they were. So when I was getting involved, I kind of had an idea of what it's looking like. You know, and just don't rush. Don't let pressure, you know, rush you to pick somebody. You know, just really spend time doing things that you really love, not things that you're doing because you want to meet somebody. Just, you know, when they say work on yourself and you meet the person that's meant for you, because at some point, if you're doing things you genuinely love, this person is going to run into you, and it's just going to be like, whoa, what? And things just get easier. Like, for example, you like dancing, go dancing, different places, go to concerts, go to clubs. You know, I know people say clubs and other places, but if you enjoy dancing, you run to somebody that likes dancing. I'm not saying that the men there are quality all the time, but you eventually run to the person. If you like cooking, take cooking classes, go to art classes, whatever. You're going to run to the person. You will. So that's all I can really say, guys. Like, I understand that dating sucks now. It's worse, but you have to be patient. You have to be patient and really work on yourself and be clear of what you want. Be clear about it. Don't change it because somebody looks cute. Oh, well, he lives close to me, so maybe he smokes. It's okay. No, it doesn't matter. You don't like smoking. You don't like smoking. You have to stick with that. All right, guys.